Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for Ori Toys Acid Rain figures, and we're looking at Bob. Yes, just Bob. And apparently he's kind of like the chief, or kind of like the team leader for the box team. Yep. Now if you want to know a little bit more story about Acid Rain figures, you can look up, basically there's a blog spot for Acid Rain, and you can get more information on that one. But other than that, there's really not much behind it, and it's basically you have a free interpretation of whatever you want it to be, which is great. So here we go, we got Bob here. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. I'll provide the link down below if you are interested. Now these are collectibles and they are actually quite pricey, but you're getting quite a bit of detail in each one, hence the price point, and it's really nice. So here's the box, and for the most part they come in like this, and there's a sleeve. You just kind of just press it out like so, take it out, and inside, once I get this thing open, there's a foam to protect your figure. Take that out. Here we go, and we got a bag here for all the other accessories, helmets. I think there comes with an alternate face or alternate head and his rifle. And we have Bob here. Actually, I played with him a little bit already. Here we go. So let's get the box out of the way. And yeah, this is really nice. Really cool figure. Now this is 1/18 scale, and if I have my ruler here, for those who are wondering how tall these are, they're basically G.I. Joe scale, and it's about 4 1/4 inch, or 4. It's close to 4 inches, so around that height. And these are nicely detailed. I really like them. So going over the articulation and details, we have the head here. It's somewhat restricted for all that stuff. He does have like a hoodie here. Yep, and well, take this out, kind of give an idea what's that orange thing. I think it's kind of like a scarf that goes around his neck, and it does remind me of that same material as the ghillie suit. It's just a cloth or a bunch of thread woven together. And you have this one that you can take out. You can even just remove that if you don't want that orange part. There we go. And this gives you a little bit more articulation for him to look side to side. And let's see if I can get this a close-up. We get some details there, although I don't see his eyes. But he does have that eyebrow. So but the details on the hair, really cool, and just a little bit of close-up of the details of his suit, quite nice. Alright, so let's zoom out, and going over the other accessories on this zippy bag. Alright, so alternate faces, we can take this out. There we go, and you get this. Now this one, the joint is more further back, so it looks like, yeah, he's leaning forward. And you have a helmet here, which you can use it for, well, getting this thing aligned. There we go. Or swap it out with this one, kind of like a pilot's helmet, or you can even push it forward like this. So that's really cool. Although I think I've tried putting on Bob, and I don't think it really quite works. Let me get this thing in here. There's a little bit of thread sticking out on this side here. So I tried putting on the helmet. It doesn't fit. So it's only made for this face here. All right. So that's fit for the head. Now moving down, we have the arm here. Quite articulate. Same thing here. Elbow band. Now for the wrist, and I think it's kind of standard for most of the acid rain figures. This one here has that hinge, so he can bend it this way, and this works out especially if they have like an RPG or a rocket propelled grenade. Well, this other side, it's this part, you can bend the wrist this way. So there are certain things that you can use that. I mean, if you have some kind of binoculars, yeah, that works really well over his. I think there's one of them. I think Steel was holding some sort of suitcase, so that would be helpful having that, or even to use this wrist for supporting the weapon. So that's that. And moving down here on the torso, we have a little bit of articulation on the torso, but because of his clothing, I mean, this is nice fabric. I like that texture, although it's kind of shifted on one side. You can actually take this off. Yep, right here, I think there's a strap that you can take out and kind of just reposition. I might do that after the review, but yeah, you can actually interchange this with the other acid rain figures, which is really cool. Yep. There's also an option here on the back which you can take this out and you can remove this. There's actually a little peg there. I really need to reposition this clothing. It's got shifted here. Actually, let me fix that real quick. Alright, so on the back side we have this, which kind of shown already, and you have this big pouch, but you can interchange it with a smaller one right here. Gives you a little bit of variety. And if I can get this thing, there's a peg. Just gotta follow the shape, press it on, and there you go. That's kind of like a buckle, although I kind of wish there is a buckle in front and with a different design. Yeah, but I kind of like the bigger one here. So it's nice that there's a bit of accessory and different ways to reconfigure it. Moving down, you have the waist articulation, fairly good, and you can even do a swivel here. Now for the knees, it's nice that it's double jointed, as you can see here, although it's rather stiff, and you kind of need to bend them at the same time to have a better pose. Otherwise it's just gonna look awkward, like here. I mean, the knee is, feels like the knee is too long. But this gives you certain poses. I mean, when he's kneeling down, it's not too bad on certain pose, but it does give you more articulation, so can't really complain. But yeah, I just kind of curious how come they didn't just went with a single joint. Yeah. Then moving on, let me straighten this out. See, that's a weird pose there. A little too extended. Right, so for the ankles, you have a swivel there. Oh, let me get this thing straightened out. So you get a swivel there, and we have this kind of weird way of an angled joint pushing this way, and it's kind of just hollow underneath. But you have that movement, and you have that swivel point, which is great for wide stance or certain poses. So it's really great. Now I want to point out that when I got my Bob, that his backside on the ankle here, it seems like it got rubbed off in terms of paint, and the more I move this around, basically the paint just peeled off. Just over time, like when you're rubbing off something, which is kind of weird. For the most part, like even the vehicles, the paint stays on. But yeah, just certain parts does rub off. I'm not sure if just an isolated incident or if it's a known issue. But yeah, it does happen. And well, the great thing about this is you can paint it yourself. I've seen great custom work with acid rain figures, and that's basically what I did. I grabbed some of my paint, mixed green with red, a bit of brown, and get that color. Actually, kind of wish I made something a bit more like this green, kind of like a patina. But not too bad. Maybe I can always repaint it later on. Yep. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Articulation. Really great figure. Other than that, let's go over the... Oh, actually, I forgot. So there's pegs underneath. And if you have a stand like this, which I got from Router Inc., I'll provide the link down below if you are interested. And also a great place to buy other accessories, weapons, binoculars, and all that stuff. Yeah, really nice. Alright, I was actually trying to find the rifle. Here we go. So here's the rifle here, nicely detailed. I did notice there's a bit of paint. It looks like it's burnt. But I think that is just how they've weathered the figure. Yeah, not too bad. There is no scope lens. They did hollow some points, which is great if you want to pin some kind of like muzzle fire. Yeah, nice detail. Although I'm not too familiar with what type of rifle this is. I did play video games. That's the closest I get in terms of guns. I mean, there is certain rifles that are iconic, like the P90. What else? MP5. But this one, or even a carbine, yeah, I'm not too sure what this one is. But looks cool. And it just mounts here. I usually go this way first, get it slide down, then put the stock around his forearm. There we go. It looks great. Yep. And you can also use the other arm here, and the great thing again about that wrist, you're able to adjust it. That way he can support his rifle. Like so. And the fingers they're rubbery, they're flexible, and there we go. You get that good grip there. Again, really great figure. Highly recommend getting this. Now, price point, it's a little steep compared to a regular G.I. Joe figure. These are about $30. Yes, it's quite expensive, but you're getting a quality figure. Nicely painted, detailed, and the mold is just amazing. Yeah, I would highly recommend trying out Acid Rain, especially if this is something that you like, collecting figures of this. And yeah, it even works out with your G.I. Joe. So if you're really collecting that one and you want something a little bit more high-end, or what, just want to try something new, yeah, try this out. Again, I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. I think it's still readily available, and I think they have most of the ones released so far. I cannot wait for the future releases of Ori toys. Yep, really cool. And that's about it for the review. I think, yeah, pretty much for the most part. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try my best to answer that for you. Otherwise, that's about it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.